5. Julie Lenarz is the Executive Director of the Human Security Centre, an independent foreign affairs think tank. Hello, Julie.
Good morning, Jonathan.
So do you hope that the MPs will vote to bomb ISIS in Syria?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I couldn't agree more with what the Prime Minister has said, because we have to understand we cannot eliminate ISIS without shifting our focus to Syria, because they are based in Syria, their capital is in Syria, everything is basically planned from Raqqa, their capital. The assault on Iraq was planned from there, and we've now learned that probably the attacks on Paris were planned there as well. So I think it's about time we are dealing with this.
Ultimately, though, if we start dropping bombs on Raqqa, is that actually going to solve the problem? Because there are many people saying that without putting boots on the ground, without sending in the army to deal with the problem, you can drop as many bombs as you like. And actually, if we look at what America has been doing, they've been doing just that. It hasn't really made any difference.
Well, I think we have to distinguish here between containment and elimination. I think a bombing campaign can probably contain the threat, but it cannot eliminate the threat. We've learned many times in the past, airstrikes alone don't solve the problem. And if you look at the situation in the Kurdish areas of both Iraq and Syria, you can see the progress we can make with a reliable partner on the ground, with boots on the ground. The problem really is we are lacking a partner outside of the Kurdish areas that can actually do the job. So I would agree in the sense that we have to be under no illusion that we actually have to consider an element of ground troops deployment if we are serious about eradicating ISIS.
Why do we have to do it? I mean, the Russians have already made it quite clear that they're prepared to take military action in Syria, and indeed have started. The Americans are doing it. The French now are going to join both of them in bombing Syria. Why do we need to get involved?
Well, first of all, I think we shouldn't left our national security interests to Russia, because we've seen in Syria our interests are not really aligned. And secondly, I think if our allies like the US, France, if they play their part as part of the international community, so should the UK. And let's be very clear, ISIS is a threat to all of us. What happened in Paris can happen anytime, anywhere across Europe. And it is the responsibility of the government to safeguard its citizens. And if that means taking on the Islamic State, then I believe that's what we have to do.
Thank you very much indeed for your time. Very interesting. Julie Lenarz, who's the Executive Director of the Human Security Centre, an independent foreign affairs think tank.